Good morning, friends. Uh, um, and welcome to Institute of Engineers Pune Local Center. And on behalf of Tech Forum, this is our 70th Tech Talk. It's a very interesting topic. We have got a very eminent and experienced person in the field of subject, Dr. Subramanyam. Okay, today's topic is very close to us and very means of concern of modern developed mankind. It is related with the carbon and carbon footprint and energy efficiency. In one of the such seminar, the this thing speaker asked audience that how you can define a human being. So I immediately commented as a human being is a consumer. He's a consumer. He doesn't delivers or he doesn't gives back anything to the nature. But now, as a wise and as a intelligent, we have got a duty to perform. After so much of bad thing happened after the industrial revolution, so this carbon and energy things are getting more and more a matter of concern. So without any more introduction, I will ask doctor to start his presentation. Doctor, you may start now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for your nice introduction. Good morning, friends. I'm Subramanyam from Hyderabad, actually, but right now in Tirupati because of some other training program. So I'm a chemical engineer and worked almost 20 years with NPC, National Portability Council. So since 1988, I'm in the energy efficiency field and carrying out energy audits and various sectors. You name the sector, we have done energy audits. So, and my company name is Siri Exergen Advisory. So, the topic also related to carbon footprint and how to become carbon neutral. So, we'll see. Because energy efficiency will lead to carbon reduction. Because now we have a target of by 2070 we have to go carbon neutral. So, to become carbon neutral, what are the things we require? What we can do it? What we can do for our country or for wherever you live, wherever, even in your house also you can able to reduce your carbon footprint. So those things we'll talk. So let me start my presentation, share my PowerPoint presentation. Sir, it is visible now?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So energy efficiency in carbon neutral Bharat. So this is my today's presentation. So we'll go. It is changing. It is now. It is second slide.
Yeah, it's changing.
Oh, okay.
Changing.
So why Nickwer, what is the present problem with the energy? So with the present problem, we can see that present problem is our resources are limited. Our resources are limited. Present energy crisis. What are the crisis is? We have a limited resources. Whatever we have, coal or oil or gas, it has taken some million years to form. It has taken a million years to form, but what is available is hardly around maybe around already 60 to 70% already consumed. So what is left out is only around 30%. So that not necessarily for India, it is world over. So world over our resources have a limited life. So that's why we should be able to conserve this. Then energy prices are going up. Energy prices, since never has gone down. You can see the entire history of either petrol or diesel or electricity. They never has gone down, and it is increasing day by day. Another demand. So the energy demand is keep increasing. You can see I'll show the graph. So almost every 5 years, almost it is doubling our energy demand. Demand is doubling. So that is the reason why you should present problem. So for what are the then? Well, this is the so this is already the graph. So we started exploring somewhere around 1700, and so we know that there is a coal or oil is available in the Mother Earth. We started digging and exploring, and by within 100 years, almost all we have consumed almost 60%. So another whatever left out, if you continue to like business as usual, So we may extend another maybe another 100 years, all the for resources whatever we have as on today. So that is as per business as usual. So next is, so this is the remaining. Able to see the slide, sir? Remaining life of oil.
Yeah, it is available.
Yeah. Oil may last for maybe another 45 or 50 years. So that is then within our lifetime, because maybe some of us are very close to 50, 60s. So another maybe if it is everything goes well, because unless there is no new reserves we'll find out that is rarely only whatever we have we are able to manage. New reserves are whatever earlier we left out because it is not economical to explore. So those things only available. So oil may last for another maybe another 10 years, you can say 10 to 15 years based on the consumption, 45 to 60. Gas may last for another 65 to 70 years. Coal, of course, coal have a sufficient life, but our coal is again a degraded coal. Even then we are importing a lot of coal from other countries, but it is having a different degraded coals. It has a low calorific value, high ash content, and a high sulfur content. These are the things problem with our coal. So people try to use more of oil gas. It is easy to burn. So this is some of the problems. So how to address these problems? So how to address these problems is, of course, we are becoming energy hungry. Day by day, we are becoming energy hungry because we started exploring when somewhere 1800. There is an ordinary bulb is invented by Edison somewhere in 19 so. Then later on, we have a CFL. Now it is LED. I don't know, after LED again we may not, maybe if there nothing is available energy, because we have to show that have a limited life. If it is able to after 2050, just it is a depiction. So
You might
how
have to
we
go
will
to
manage?
bioluminescence, Subramanyam, like the firefly.
Uh, yeah. So this we don't, nobody wants. So nobody wants. You don't want to go for to the again, but to the back age. So we want to do something. We want to do something for our earth, and how we can able to manage our increasing demand. So increasing demand, I will show another graph. See, prices. So prices earlier somewhere around 1900 to 2000, the one barrel was somewhere around 11 to $12. Whereas now it even touched 135. So 135. So imagine that it is almost 10 times. So over 20 years, over 20 years, it has come more than 20 times. So how you able to manage? No government can able to control. No, whether it is Manmohan government or it is a Modi government, nobody can have a. So it is all linked with the international prices. So this is the major problem. Energy prices. So energy prices by energy conservation, we can able to limit to some extent. Next is demand. So demand, demand I showed that is energy. I already told it is every 5 years, almost all it is doubling. So earlier we have a say as on today we have around 4,000 megawatt of installed capacity. It may go to touch almost 8 lakh megawatt by 2030. By 2030, 8 lakh megawatt. Imagine. So where from we'll get so much of fuel? So to run the power plant, we need a fuel. To run the any industry, either it is a pharma company or it is a cement company or steel company, every industry needs a energy. Either cook, they also not only electricity, they need coal or oil to run the company. So why we should save energy? Because one I already told, because resources are limited. Another one is global competition. Global competition, you name the product, it is made in China and they're able to dump it throughout the world. You go to any US or even Japanese market, all are made in China. So how they can able to make, and that is again fueling us to compete with them. Because to make any product, even cement, it is a 60% is energy cost. To want to make a steel, it is a again 65% is energy cost. To want to make 1 ton of fertilizer, it is again there is 80%. 80% is the cost of energy. So when the power, energy cost goes up, so automatically very difficult to control the cost, and we can't reduce the manpower. To produce 1 ton of cement, you require minimum 1 ton of raw material. So we can't reduce the raw material quantity also. So only thing is, wherever there is a possibility, because energy still there is a potential, in the sense our energy consumption, if you could take the norms, our energy intensity is slightly higher than the when compared to other countries. So there is a potential is there. We'll see what are the potential, how we can able to. Then already I told, reduces greenhouse gas emissions. So another problem with the energy is, because whatever you burn, finally it is converted to CO2. So CO2, again, it is a major contributor for our greenhouse. This is a greenhouse, and we'll see how CO2 is causing us. Then investment energy conservation provide most attractive, because people say, no, we'll save energy. To save energy, again, we have to invest. So invest sometimes maybe 1 year payback period, 2 year payback, or sometimes even 5 year payback. Even then, it is still very attractive. As on today, even we can show, suppose if you keep have a excess money, so 1 lakh available, suppose if you keep it for in a bank, in the FD, hardly you get around 6%. Even senior citizen, maybe you can get a 0.5% extra. So energy investments are again attractive. We have showed many of the our energy audit our experiences. The payback period is sometimes even less than 6 months. Even less than 6 months also, there is many technologies available which we can able to rate of return. Rate of return is more than 150%. Then improves overall business opportunity. By saving energy, you will be competitive and able to reduce our carbon emissions, and we will be able to export. So we'll be able to reduce our cost of production. So these are the benefits what we can get from energy efficiency. Next, we'll see, already told, our, of course, this is a little slide, old slide, almost 4 lakh megawatt we have. Out of that, mostly around 60% is through coal. 60% of our energy coming from coal. Of course, nowadays, solar power, it is contribution is increasing. But we can't run the cover of only entire industry only with the power plant. It only supplement whatever our wind or solar is there, only supplement. So still we have to depend mostly on to run a power plant, because renewables, it has a PLF is hardly, suppose a power plant as a solar power plant, PLF is hardly 17%. Suppose if it is a wind power plant, PLF is only 23%. Whereas the thermal power plant, we can run more than 80% PLF. So that to night time, there is no power if you, and we depend on solar. So these are some of the issues. I am not going to renewables. It is one of the option. One of the option to reduce energy efficiency or intensity, or so those things we'll discuss. So I'm giving, so many, because many people are here, I just want to give a, suppose you want to produce anything you burn, it is C plus O to CO2. Anything it is a wood, coal, or oil, or gas, or LPG, anything you burn, finally it is C plus O2 CO2. C is 12, O2 is 32. That means 12 kg if you burn, you get 44 kg of CO2. That means per kg, it is almost a 3.67. By burning 1 kg of carbon, you will be emitting almost a 3.67 kg of CO2. So now we'll just compare, because to produce any 1 unit of power, 1 unit of power, for a supercritical, we maybe require only 0.67 or something. Whereas for a typical average, Indian average, we may require almost 1 kg. 1 kg of coal is required to produce 1 unit of power. Suppose 1 ton, 1 megawatt, we require 1 ton. Suppose now I have showed that almost 4 lakh megawatt we are producing, that to around 60% is through thermal route. So suppose if for calculation purpose, say 2 lakh megawatt we are generating. So 2 lakh megawatt we require 2 lakh tons of coal. That is every hour, because power is required every minute, every hour, into 24 hours, into 365 days. So now calculate how much CO2 we are contributing to atmosphere. So 2 lakh tons into 3.76, actually 2.67, 24 hours, 365 days, and coal having a carbon content of around 35%. So now see, 4 billion tons just by power sector, just our power generating companies, whether it is NTPC or state, a Mahajan Co or APGen Co or TSGen Co, whatever generating companies. So their contribution itself almost 4 billion tons of CO2. I'm not taking other companies like pharma. They also use to run the boiler coal. Then cement industry, they also uses a captive power plant, and also they use coal for as a raw material. Then addition to that, all the companies, most of the companies, wherever there is a chimney, you can see wherever there is a boiler, they use either coal or oil for running the generating steam. So that is additional. That is additional, and also they have most of the companies having captive power plant. So that is not taken into account. So this 4 billion tons of CO2, if you release to atmosphere, where it goes. So this is CO2, it will not stay back in India and Maharashtra or Andhra. Or, it can go to anywhere. It can go to anywhere. It doesn't require any visa, ticket, or any no limits. Wherever air direction, whichever air direction it is going and creating global problem. So what is that global problem is? Global warming. So our emissions going elsewhere and creating problem. So this is a global problem. That's why we are taking. That's why there is a carbon credits. Suppose somebody, other countries cannot able to reduce their carbon emissions, so they can able to invest in India and take credit, and they can able to compensate for their targets, because there is a targets are available for each and every country as per Kyoto Protocol, and for that there is a CDM, that is a clean development mechanism. Under clean development mechanism, they have some targets, and the targets, in fact, India is a developing country, so we are not having any targets for CO2. Only in Indian targets are different. Indian targets for different energy intensive industries. So there is under Bureau of Energy Efficiency, there is a PAT, under PAT, perform, achieve and trade. I will show later what are the government is doing and what we can able to do it. So this 4 billion tons, as I said, it is creating a problem. In fact, so what is that problem? This is a climate change. So sometimes it is a tsunami, sometimes a earthquake, sometimes it is a heavy rains, some places a drought. So CO2 is a direct contribute for climate change, and by target is India. India has taken by 2030 we have to reduce by almost 30 to 35%. But by 2030, so by 2030 is another only hardly another six years to come. So, but another by 2070, this is another. By COP26, we have committed. By COP26, we are committed that we want to reduce our emissions, want to make it net zero. We want to net zero by 2070. So, accordingly, now all our policies are going towards this. All our policies. So, already some of the companies have taken target. So, railways now going on for the carbon neutral. Even NTPC, though they are a genetic company, still their whatever they have their administrative building or service building, they want to make it carbon neutral. So we'll see what are the other companies are doing to make it carbon neutral. So this is why they have taken a purpose is you want to limit that our global temperature less than 1.5 degree, lower than the earlier limit. So at least we want to bring 1.5 degrees is the limit. So why 1.5 again? It is if you were to maintain 1.5, our CO2 level will be 300 ppm. So 300 ppm you able to maintain. So there our temperature, global temperature will be maybe slightly 1.5 degrees higher. I am giving why this global temperature, etc. So we have nowadays we have ACs, we have a remote. We can have a temperature is going up. Put one more AC. We have already one AC is there, or we have 1.5 ton. We change it to 2 ton. So what is the problem? So problem is now already told that our resources are limited. Global temperature is going, and in 100 years, our global temperature gone up by only 1 degree. We have a data about 1900 to 2000. So 1900 to 2000, our global temperature gone up by only 1.5 degree. If a same trend continues, for next century, that is the 21st century, there is expected rise in temperature is 4 to 5 degree. So 4 to 5 degree. So what are the problem? So with 100 in 1 degree itself, our sea levels are risen by 62 centimeters. Because finally temperatures are rising, so there is a global warming. Then there is a glaciers are melting, and because of that, sea levels are wherever that ice melts. So finally, it is becoming water and reaching the sea, and sea levels are rising. So sea levels in 100 years has gone up by only 62 centimeter. If with 1 degree rise in temperature, if 4 to 5 degree rises, imagine what will going to happen to our Mother Earth. Most of the low-lying areas like Andaman Nicobar, even Maldives, those of the they may wipe out our world map. So even if you have a you can able to see from the future. So this is the biggest threat to our Earth, biggest threat. So this you want to control. I want to limit that to 1.5 degrees. So for 1.5 now, all the calculations, everything, are the targets are based on 1. How to bring it to 1.5 degrees. So 1.5 degree globally, whether you save energy in India, whether you save energy in America or Europe, effect is same. Effect is same. And you want to save 1 ton of CO2. Want to save 1 ton of CO2 in Japan, they cost for them, it is cost around $200. Suppose they want to save 1 ton of CO2 in US, for they cost them around $100. Same effect, same 1 ton you want to reduce in India, it is only $25. With $25, imagine where is 200. That's why they want to invest in India. They want to support some of the projects. Some of the projects they want to support under CDM, and whatever CO2, whatever you're emitting, they may take as a credit. So there's a credit, and those CO2 is now internationally we can able to sell it. So through carbon market. That carbon market you can able to sell it. We'll see later. We'll see later how much whatever global market and all, etc. So for that, how first of all we should know what is the carbon footprint. I said only power plants. So power plants carbon footprint is almost 4 billion. But individually also you can able to do it. Individually, if you know what is their coal consumption, and also the addition to that coal, they're consuming some oil also as a support oil. Support oil they use it. So by if you give them, if you give me the details, we can able to calculate their carbon footprint. And in addition to that, the power plant also they consume internally almost 8 to 10% as a auxiliary fuel, auxiliary consumption. That means whatever, suppose they have 1000 megawatt power plant, so they may be exporting only around maybe 920 megawatt. Remaining 80 megawatt as goes as internally for their auxiliary consumption. So because everywhere you find a slogan, 1 unit saved equal to 2 units generated. 1 unit, because there is almost a 10% they consume internally. Then there is a T&D loss, this transmission distribution loss, another 30 to 40%. So addition to that, there is end use efficiency. So that calculation only up to end use reaching. So up to substation is okay. Up to substation, from the generating station to substation is okay. 1 unit generated, 1 unit. But 1 unit, so 1 unit saved, I can able to prove it is equivalent to 24 thermal units. Thermal equivalent units. Because if you see the end-use efficiency of a typical, say, agricultural pump sets. Agricultural pump set is only 25%. So 25% means that means you are giving 4 units input, only 1 unit is utilized. Remaining 3 units are wasted in terms of efficiency loss or whatever. That means, suppose if you save 1 unit in agricultural pump sets, so at the substation, we are able to save 4 units. Suppose if you save 4 units of substation, then they again take 40% T&D loss. That means efficiency is around 60%. Again, 4 divided by 0.6. So what is the calculation? Again, it may become to almost say 7 units. Then again, there is a generation. So generation, there is again 10% loss. Because to run a power plant, they require a ID fan, FD fan, the coal mill has to run, there is so many equipment has to run. So there again 10%. So again, 7 divided by efficiency is 0.9. So there is again say 8 units. Then what is the efficiency of the power plant? Typical power plant efficiency only 30%. That means 70% you are losing. So again, we are almost 8 divided by 0.7 or say 30% efficiency, 0.3. So that means we can able to 24 units, almost a 24 equivalent thermal energy if you able to save just by saving 1 unit. 1 unit at the energy user, if you save, it is equivalent to almost 24, assuming as an even take the typical efficiencies. So these are the problem. That is the power of energy efficiency. Just by saving 1 unit, we can able to reduce power and also energy, and also can able to reduce. Yeah. So that whatever that slogan has to be rewritten. Everywhere I'll go, they say write a slogan: 1 unit saved will equal to 2 units generated. In fact, that has to be. It is wrong for not only for India and entire world. It is wrong. That's strong
So there's a factor of
slogan.
10 itself. 1 is to 24.
So now we'll see, because we are, yes, sir, almost 24 units of thermal energy. 1 unit
Thermal
is
energy, yeah, because
actually
that is
it's
the real way in which you produce.
finally it is input is thermal energy. For anything is thermal energy.
Correct,
So
correct.
finally, how much you are going to save at the that is contributing for carbon footprint. But thermal energy is contributing. So now, so far we blamed industry, power plant for carbon emissions. Now we'll see. Suppose we are each one of us also again uses power in our household. Suppose 100 watts bulb. Of course, nowadays we are not doing 100 watts bulb. We are already converted to either LED or CFL, etc. So 100 watts bulb contributing, even if you go uses for 4 hours per day, our contribution is 120 kg. Travel for 300 kilometers by car. Yeah, almost a daily, whether you use your own vehicle or it is a whatever vehicle you use for commuting. Say you are commuting from Mumbai to Pune. Mumbai to Pune, kitna hoga sir kilometer? So you will be contributing more than 66 kg. Suppose you travel 300 kilometers by train. Okay, train have a more carrying capacity, uska 21 kg. Suppose you want one flight you take from Hyderabad to Mumbai, Mumbai to anywhere, all 1 hour. Many people may not take for Pune, maybe for Nashik or maybe for Shirdi or other Nagpur, whatever. So 1 hour flight, you will be, our single contribution 164 kg. Suppose TV, if you watch for 6 hours, contribution is 250 kg. Suppose refrigerator contributing to almost a 400 kg because nobody switches off. This all calculation is based on yearly basis. So if you add it, it comes to almost 1 ton. Around average is around 1 ton. So 1 ton is this, that is the per capita consumption. Per person, we are contributing almost 1 ton of CO2 per year. So now imagine who are the contributors? You and I. I am also traveling. I am also using power. I am also using refrigerator, TV. So all is, we are only contributing all this. So this is our responsibility. It's not the industry responsibility or somebody, because you can't blame the industry for their emissions. You and I are using it, all these gadgets day and night. So this is our responsibility to reduce wherever possible. So next we'll go to. So far we have blamed CO2. We have about the energy efficiency because we are limited resources. In fact, I say CO2 is a God-given gift. CO2 is a useful gas, but we are blaming CO2 left and right. So CO2 because of CO, because there is an atmosphere. Suppose when you are flying, so they will be announcing we are flying at 30,000 feet. So 30,000 feet is almost equal to around 10 kilometer height. So there up to that there is a atmosphere. So there atmosphere there is a CO2. So CO2 some even ppm is there. That CO2 is helping to maintain our global temperature or entire earth temperature, or wherever we are India, our temperature is somewhere around 30-35 degrees. Our ambient temperature is around 30-35 degrees centigrade, which is good for our survival. 30-35 degrees. Nowhere in the other planets. We have other planets, we say 9 planets, whether it is a Mars or whatever other planets. Nobody, so far we don't know whether there is a life is there or not. Why they are not able to survive? Because there's no CO2. There is no CO2, no atmosphere in other planets. Only in Mother Earth there is a CO2. In fact, CO2 is a God-given gift, and Because of that, our temperature is maintained. What CO2 is helping us to some extent, but problem is we are emitting more and more CO2, more reflection. Some part is absorbed by the earth and some part reflected, but because of CO2 is more CO2 is there, it is getting reflected back and temperature globally is increasing. It is similar to, suppose we have a car, you keep your car for say 1 hour outside. Suppose we came for a lunch break and there is no parking place, you keep it outside in the hot sun, and after 1 hour if you enter, after your lunch you enter, how do you feel? Entire temperature, it is heat got trapped inside your car, it's not able to escape. Same effect is happening for our mother earth also. Whatever heat coming to their earth, it is not able to escape because CO2 layer is there. CO2, it is helping to some extent, because beyond certain limit, that is more than 300 ppm, it cannot able to help. So I'll see that now how CO2 is increasing. So CO2, this is the graph. So this is a graph over a period. Now I said 300 is a good, but now it is more than 400 ppm. It is if it is more closely increasing, and it is directly proportional to our global temperatures. CO2 is a globally temperatures. You can see the temperatures. In fact, we didn't have a data about 2023, just concluded. 2022, if you see the entire history, 2022 is the highest temperature recorded globally. 2022 is the highest, that is the warmest year out of all the years so far. So you can see the temperature, there is a direct correlation. If CO2 rise is there, there is a temperature rise. They are directly proportional. So the culprit is CO2. This is a well-established. CO2 is a major contributor for global temperature rise. Now, see what is happening to CO2. So CO2, how it is affecting us. So in 1909, some of the glaciers, you can see everywhere there is a snow, ice. In 2004, some data we have. So already it's become melted. How it is everywhere water. Now we will see some more photographs. 1941 Patagonia, another one glacier. The 2004 they have a data, the photograph. So again, it is a everywhere water. Another 1928, another Patagonia. Then 2004 they have taken some data. Already it is melted. Now you can find is a water. So our people are doing research in the Arctic, Antarctic, and the polar regions. So they have put one post pillar they have planted, and after 1 year they went. After 1 year, you can see 1 year of melt is now you can see our typical height may be around say 6 feet. So it is more than 6 feet. More than 12 feet is has gone down. Okay, this is visible. The rod is visible. That means in 1 year or so much of ice is melting. So what will happen? So it looks very beautiful. Suppose I have a video, I am showing that video. So it is a ice melting each and every second, every minute is ice melting, and is icebergs. Icebergs are melting. And if you see the scenery, it looks very beautiful, but it is happening. So now it is what is already I told the sea levels are rising. Sea levels are also they were popular monitoring. So sea levels also again indication, and we can see like our old Dwarka temple. So Dwarka temple already old Dwarka is somewhere inside the sea. Similarly, there is even you can see the in Chennai, that is in Mahabalipuram. There is a temples, old temples are still lying inside the sea. And also in the Konark temple. So Konark also, you can see some temples are inside the sea. So these are basically real examples that sea levels are rising globally. Now, what are the greenhouse gases which are, because we blamed CO2. CO2 has in fact helping us to some extent. Now CO2, because apart from CO2, what are the greenhouse gases which are glowing, that is having a different global warming potential? So carbon dioxide is taken as a 1. Reference is 1, whereas methane has 21 times. Again, then nitrous oxides, it is again 80 times. PFC, perfluorocarbons, around 1,900 times. SFC, sulfur fluorohexacarbon, is global warming potential more than 9,000 times. In fact, if it is able to, if this all CFCs, it leak to atmosphere. If they leak to atmosphere, they are not only causing global warming and also the uh, hole, that is ozone depletion. So they are causing for ozone depletion, and they are able to, their life is almost at 1,000 years. If they leak, and they will not able to get destroyed. So they having a life of almost all 1,000 years. So that is again worry for us. So already take man-produced, man-made gases. It is a carbon dioxide, methane, CFCs, ozone, nitric acid. So these are the major. CO2 is the contribute. Major 60% is CO2. And our India's commitment already told. India's commitment, we want to reduce by 2070. Want to make it carbon neutral. So how we will able to do it? For that, we need to do carbon footprinting. So carbon footprinting, we can able to do easily do it, because if you know the data, there is a scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. Scope 1 is in your premises. In your premises, suppose in your house, you are using LPG, it is directly, it is contributed under, comes under scope 1. Suppose an industry using as a diesel or LPG in the canteen, or they have a captive power plant and using some coal inside the power, their premises, that comes under scope 1. Scope 2 is indirect emissions. Though you are using power, but it is produced elsewhere. It is produced in the power plant. So we are again taking through distribution, we are taking it. So that how much units are consumed. How much there is a CEC, the Central Electricity Authority, CEA, Central Electricity Authority, every year they publish. So what is the to our carbon emissions? So I want to you produce 1 unit of power, because we have a mix of coal, whether it is a mix of fuels, it is a coal, oil, or gas, or nuclear, or hydel, or solar. So that's why they every year they take data and publish. So whatever the that is a multiplication factor, because nobody can able to put a CO2 meter in the chimney and can measure it. That's why. So we have to go by the consumption, actual consumption. How many units? Suppose in your house, suppose you are consuming say 200 units. So 200 units, 200 units I can able to convert it to 0.82. So that means your contribution is 160 kg per month. Like that, you can able to calculate scope 2. Scope 3 is for the travel. So travel, you have, for commuting, you are going by a car or by a train or by a flight for your official purpose. So for industry, you are doing, we're taking official trips. For this, I need your travel data, or the your can say you are giving your TA bills. All TA bills will take how many kilometers, those things we require. So I have to depend on. So scope 3 is optional. Whether you want based on the ISO 14064, there is a protocol. So based on protocol, we can able to calculate whether if it is a scope 3 is actually higher for some of the companies like IT companies, Infosys or TCS, because most of the people they travel. They have more, their projects are in Europe or elsewhere in US. So they will be traveling. So that's why the scope 3 is more a major. So that's why since it is a major, so they want to reduce it. I will see some of the options. What are the main factors contributing to our carbon footprint? That is power generation. It was a boiler, diesel setter, gas turbines. Even gas also is that is there is natural gas. Natural gas contains methane. So we have to take into consideration how much it is converted. Then transport, internal transport, then ACs, already said chlorofluorocarbons, their process. Also, you sometimes use some fuel, maybe like in the burners. Suppose you have some furnace, they in the process, they may use some gas. Fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers also contribute because they're having then food. Suppose canteen. So canteen, you are using LPG internal canteen. So that also, this is a major contributor. This is more or less common for most of the companies. Most of the companies, except some, we don't know, some exceptions. Then possible, how do you able to reduce it? How we can able to reduce our carbon footprint? So for that simple example, already told, maybe 100 watts bulb, we can able to replace with 9 watts equivalent. I'm not telling you to switch off light, switch off AC and save energy. You have a same light, same better light, even better light. You can have a better light, even temperature. We have a better comfort using energy efficient gadgets like a 5-star rating gadgets available in the market. We can able to reduce almost 60 to 70% energy consumption. So this is a simple example. We can able to reduce almost 90%. 90% energy can be reduced, and also 90% of our carbon emission can be reduced. And also energy, I can see the, I said it is very attractive for investment also. Suppose what earlier, just give a LED. Now LED bulb is available for only for 100 rupees. Even LED tube light is available for almost 150 to 160 rupees is available. Our investment, suppose we are taking a 90 watts replacement, 90 watts into, say you use it for say 5 hours. So 5 hours for using for per day. So 90 into 5. 90 into 5 is 450 watts by divided by 1000. So that means 0.45 kW you can able to save per day into all even 300 days, because we may not be, because you'll be using for power anywhere. We are a house here, maybe go for native, they are also using, but calculation purpose you take around 0.5 into say 0.4, or a calculation purpose take 0.5. 0.5 into 300, that means 160. 150 units. 150 units you will be saving just by replacing one bulb. So 150, what is the cost of power? So cost of power varies from state to state, and typically for if your consumption is less than 200 units, because there is a slab up to 0 to 200, there is a slab maybe using for 5 rupees 50 paise. If it crosses more than 200, then the slab suddenly rises to 7.7. If it uses more than 500 units, it goes to almost 10 rupees. For calculation, you take even for say 5 rupees. 5 rupees into 150. That means you are able to save 750 rupees per year. 750 rupees by investing only 100 rupees. So what is the rate of return? 750 by 100 into 100. That means 750%. So your 750% is the rate of return. Or now tell me which business you get 750% returns. So this is the biggest advantage. Energy efficiency, not telling only very costly, very difficult to achieve, is a simple example taking into account. We can able to save not only energy and also carbon footprint, and also very cost effective. Now this is a simple example I am giving. Next is how to offset. Suppose we have a carbon footprint, we can able to reduce to some extent 20 to 20% by energy efficiency, but all 100% cannot be reduced. One is carbon energy conservation, because we attend energy conservation already. There are different technologies available without compromising on comfort. Using green power, of course, renewable energy. Okay, one is maybe wind or solar. Then transport, electric vehicles already come into picture. Already it is penetrating. Then hydrogen and ethanol. Ethanol, to some extent, we can able to blend up to 10%. Then video conferencing, particularly some of the what we are doing now. Earlier, we had to go to attend some training program in the hotel, and people have so many people coming by flight, and they able to contributing. Even our people, even for COP program, so many people, they are attending, some thousands of people coming by flight, chartered flights, and they're contributing to again carbon footprint. So video conferencing, whatever today we are doing, we are meeting through virtually, is again one of the option. Carpooling. In fact, some of the in US, majority of these states, they are imposing. There is a different lines are available. If they were traveling more 300 more people, then there is a line is different. Suppose we are traveling only one single person, they cannot travel in the normal line. So they are increasing carpooling. Then plantations. So trees is the biggest carbon sink. Even if you cut it, even if a tree is cut, still it can able to retain carbon until you burn it. Till you burn it, it is a carbon is stored. So it is a good example. Then product design. So maybe you can able to change the product design, and you can able to reduce carbon footprint. We can see some of the examples. So how much time we have, sir? Already now for 10:44. Slightly, we'll take one or two examples and we'll close it.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. So I'm giving a simple example. Every day we are using a water bottles, the PET bottles, we are using it. So just by design change, they were able to change almost 30% reduction in energy consumption, and also 30 tons of equivalent CO2 has reduced, one of the company. Just by this simple design change. The simple design change, so they're able to reduce it. I will give another example. So another example, we are telling about 2070, we have to carbon neutral. Whereas Infosys turns carbon neutral 30 years ahead of 2050. There's already no carbon neutral. Infosys, this is release a press release. So most of the companies are towards this carbon neutral. Though we have a target of 2070, and many companies are already acting on it and able to reduce it. And one example is again railways. So railways also now they have taken up the they want to become carbon neutral, railways. And recently there is one tender for SIDBI. SIDBI has 90 branches. 90 branches in India. All the branches they want to carbon neutral. So for that also we also participate in a tender, but we are not L1. So our credentials, of course, CDM, I'm not going. So we able to do carbon footprint ISO 50001 and also etc. We are doing regular carbon footprinting, and I'm a certified carbon footprint evaluator. And I'm giving one example where we are done in Hyderabad. Hyderabad is the street lighting. So their demand is 72 megawatt. So 72 megawatt, I'm just giving the end result. End result I'm giving. So this is taken as one of the world single largest project. World single largest project. ESL has retrofitted 4.5 lakh street light, and this is taken as is a world single largest, in return, considered to be the world's largest project of its kind. And see the results. So see the results before after. Before after I post implementation. So they able to overall there is a reduction of 61% load. That is 72 megawatt as reduced to in terms of megawatt. So I'll show in megawatt. It is now 30. So 70, that is at 77 megawatt. 72 was the running load, whereas 77 was the assuming there is 100% glowing. All lights glow. We are comparing with 100% glowing, and even replace with the LED also 100% glowing. We compared. So there is a post-implementation load has reduced to 30. What is the benefit? Almost all 47 megawatt was load reduced just by energy efficiency. That too without investment. That investment is through ESCO model. So this is the overall summary. So overall summary, there are 4.2 lakh bulbs are replaced, and the investment is around 270 crores. And you can see the carbon reduction. These are physically you can compare bills just by comparing, not by telling only I can say able to save so much. It is based on the bill comparison. So bill comparison for Hyderabad, there is a 180 crores bill. See the earlier bill also. There is a 8th item number, serial number 8. Bill before implementation was actual bill was 180 crores and has reduced to 94. Actually, it is as a calculation 80, it should be 80, because there is sometimes there is a numbers are increased over a period, because city is growing. Lot of new colonies has come, new villas, new
Subramanyam, you can mention which year this project was implemented. Mention
so this
which year
project
the
was implemented in 1819 was implemented. So we have done the before, that is baseline audit also we did in 2017. Afterwards, it took only 6 months to implement. 6 months to implement. Why I'm telling is energy efficiency project or other things. Suppose you want to save 1 megawatt. So to save 1 megawatt, you require minimum investment of 10 crores. 5 crores for the power plant, another 5 crores for the transmission distribution, and also developing your mines, etc. 10 crores. Whereas to save 1 megawatt, you require only 1 crore. 1 crore only required to save 1 megawatt. And what is the time limit for to install 1 megawatt typical power plant? It may make 3 to 4 years. If everything goes well, no every environmental clearance, everything you get it, it takes only 3 to 4 years. Whereas to implement this has taken only 6 months. Just to reduce around 40 megawatt of power, it took only 6 months. So that is advantage of energy efficiency. So this is all given. A uniqueness of project without investment. And see the carbon emissions, almost 1 lakh tons of CO2 reduced. So 1 lakh tons of CO2 reducing, and they could have gone for a CDM, but being a public government company, they could not take a ticket as a, but it is implemented an ESCO model. maybe future. I'm giving another S&L program. S&L program, that is standards and labeling program. We are doing 10 programs. So just I'm giving only gist. Just by implementing the S&L program, Government of India saved, you can see, 57 million tons of CO2 in 1 year. 57 million tons of CO2 and equivalent to rupees, almost 42,258 crores of rupees is saved by implementing simple project like S&L, that is standards and labeling, that is star rating. 3 stars, 4 star, 5 star, more stars, more saving. I can give you another pat. I'm just going to perform achievement trade. So I'm not going because already we are very close to our time limit. Perform achievement trade. If you're able to perform, you can able to get the carbon that is a energy saving certificate, and they can be tradable. There is a 2 exchanges available, IEX, energy exchange, or there is a power exchanges are available in India. So I'm giving. So there is earlier there is PAT 1. PAT 1 there is 478 DCs. DCs means designated consumers. So each all energy intensive industries, aluminum, cement, chlor-alkali, fertilizer, iron, steel, pulp and paper, textile, thermal power plant. So these are all earlier PAT 1. Afterwards, I can see PAT 3. So PAT 3 now almost close to 1,000 units are there. So afterwards, they added some more sectors. They added refineries, railways, discoms, buildings, petrochemical units. They added. In future, they are going to add pharma companies and also that is your transport, then automobile industry. So automobile industry also they are adding in future. So that also become a designated consumer in future. So what is advantage? Because PAT 1 cycle, our target was to reduce 6.68 million tons of not CO2. It is a MTOE, million tons of oil equivalent. Million tons of oil equivalent was the target, whereas actually achieved is 8.3 million tons. 6.6 was the target, whereas achieved is 8.3 million tons. So that means we were overachieved. That means if we give a target, people are achieving it. And this is it. Already now we have PAT cycles. PAT 1, PAT 2, PAT 3, PAT 4, PAT 5, PAT 7. So PAT 7 is going to start now by April, April 24, PAT 7 cycle implementation. This implementation is monitoring verification. That is the assessment year. Like you have assessment year for our income tax. So assessment year for the PAT 7 cycle is assessment year is 23-24. 23-24 will be the target year, and we have to complete by June 24. June 24 we have to complete. Just I'm giving an example because 1 ton of CO2, we have taken earlier at 26 euros. If you say 1 ton of metric ton oil equivalent, it is 18,402 rupees. 18,402 rupees equivalent. This is for the PAT 2 cycle, and the minimum is 10%. So 10% is 18. That almost 1840 rupees. So 1840 rupees is the benefit. Many companies I can able to say this is the PAT cycle achievements. People have done a business of 100 crores. So 100 crores as turnover or people have sold or purchased because of they had to make the compliance. So for compliance means they have to submit Form D. So this is a PAT 1. Whereas PAT 2 also now deadline is over. PAT 2 also deadline over. Now we can able to maybe in shortly we'll be knowing what is the benefit we have achieved in PAT 2 cycle. Another, I'm just closing it. In one of the coal mining, so we are in 10 mines we did, and see the savings. Saving is 1.26 lakhs. 1.26 lakh tons of CO2 is actually reduced. Actually, it is reduced by the mining industry. So like that, there are different steel plant. So steel plant we have done. These people have almost on scope 1 is 95%, and we have showed the saving of only around 20% because we can't do 100% saving.
Spend some more time on the steel plant because this is a completely industrial area. Most of the experts who have come for today's session, they come from the steel industry. In fact, there are a few questions on the steel industry also in the queries. So spend some more time as to the process you use in the steel plant, and especially in heavy industry, because that will be of interest to them. Because manufacturing and steel is very strong in Pune belt.
Yeah, steel, this is actually Jindal steel. So Jindal stainless steel, that is a JSL. So JSL, they have a unit in Jajpur in Orissa. So they have given us a carbon footprinting study. So we have done for again scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, we have done it. Scope 3, we have taken only travel, internal travel. They have their own buses. So their own buses we have taken because other, but you can see the percentage which is 0.01. So we neglected. Scope 1 is because they have captive power plant. So they have scope 1, they have a captive power plant. So captive power plant is, I think it is 130 into 2 units. That means 260 megawatt. So 260 megawatt, that's why there is a major is scope 1, coal consumption. Scope 2 is again, though I said they have internally the electricity they can even import. Though they are generating, some part is imported because to meet because any company they have CMD they take, so they use it or not 80% of demand they charge. So the minimum units you have to consume. For that, some part is imported. So for that, that is scope 2. That is only 4.5%. So majority is almost 95%. Now, how to reduce? Suppose you can say, if you add it, it is almost coming how much? 24 lakh. So 24 lakh is the carbon footprint in 1 year. That is base year. That is 2021 year. Now, how to reduce it? So we have to, one is we have done the energy audit. So luckily we have done the energy audit also for this plant. And through that, we are able to show them what is the energy saving potential. And addition to that, then we have a total SMS itself. We have taken total employees. We have 2 parameters we have derived. One is per person, what is the carbon footprint, or per ton of production. Per ton of production, what is that? And what is the norm? So there is an international steel industry. The norms are there. So they have published. So per one, and based on 1818, per every ton of steel production, carbon emission should be 1.85. Whereas these people are around 2.8. So 2.8. So that means there is a slightly higher. So there is a scope for improvement over a period. And our studies, based on the energy efficiency, some plantations, etc., we showed them 24%. So 24% of 24 lakhs, because totally cannot be avoided unless they go for carbon neutral and future, etc. So as on today, because the whatever carbon neutral is still 2070, still long way to go. So we have showed them there is a potential is available with the carbon, say plantation this much, by the energy efficiency this much, like that is plant wise, because SMS, that is a steel melting shop, then there is a captive power plant, there is again they have coke oven plant. So then there is a steel rolling, cold rolling, hot rolling, different sections are there. Hot rolling, cold rolling, then the utilities. All this we have studied and showed them this much is potential. This is a potential. So this is equivalent to CO2 production 1,48,000 we can able to save. That is in terms of metric ton of oil equivalent, and also in terms of CO2 1.5 lakh tons can be reduced, and percentage. Though it is 7.6, 1.5 ton is 1.5 lakh tons, a huge saving potential. You can say they can. I said 1 ton international market earlier it is 26 euros. What 26 euros? You want to save it? You can multiply 1.5 lakh into 26. Kitna aega? It comes to crores of rupees if you're able to convert it to a CDM and able to get carbon footprint. So this is the potential available, and different. This is practically shown. And future very difficult, particular like pharma companies. So pharma companies very difficult to quantify per product, because now all the PAT system, how it's working is they're calculating per ton of cement, what is your target, per ton of steel, what is the target, what is a fertilizer per ton of urea, what is the target. Whereas for the pharma companies, very difficult. Even similarly for maybe for automobile companies also, they make a go for a per ton per two-wheeler, one single production, or 100 two-wheelers, or for the four-wheelers. Pharma companies very difficult. That's why they want to come out in the future. There is a carbon tax. How much your carbon emission is you are emitting. For that, you know what is the your coal consumption, oil consumption, then electricity consumption. This data is available. So based on that, everything converted to carbon footprinting. And for that, then future there will be tax, carbon tax. For carbon tax, again, the people will require manpower. We require a huge manpower in the industry. For that, there is already draft document is available. There is a BE has already prepared, and already the deadline is over. 21st November was the deadline to submit any of the our clarifications. So in future, they're going to be carbon professionals, accredited carbon professionals. That is accredited carbon verifying agency. Suppose you are having a company, so you will become an accredited carbon ACVA. ACVA is the one of the potential people like us who are having a company or the experts. So we can able to become accredited carbon verifying agency, and we can able to do the carbon footprint and offer our services to government and show them how we can able to reduce. So, save energy, save our planet, because by saving our energy, it is directly linked, and it directly linked, we can able to reduce your bills. Direct reduction, your energy bills can be reduced. Then there is a, for the, what is the advantage for the India, for the country? Because our resources, we can able to, resources can be saved, and also we can able to avoid, reduce our imports. So import, again, import bill. So import bill, we are paying almost 4 lakh crores. That too in foreign exchange. So that can be diverted or can be utilized for the, even maybe for the other development activities, maybe for health, maybe for education, you can able to utilize. What is the advantage for the globe? So globe is going to benefit because our less CO2, will be able to maintain our environment clean, green, and we can able to make a sustainability, and future generations should also be able to having a better life. So another one, by doing all this, get additional revenues. Get additional revenues by saving energy. This is direct bill reduction. In addition to that, you can able to get some energy saving certificate, also or carbon credits. So this is additional advantage. People are getting some crores of rupees as a incentive. Because I give one of the companies got 9 crores. One of the public sector got 9 crores, and now they are thinking of how to give a incentive, to all the employees. Because it is 9 crores, not by the only one energy department able to save. Because it is a combined contribution of all the people. So that's why now they how to incentivize this amount to give all the people, how to give. So these are the things possible. Now I'll request all the who are available, if you have any doubts so far, we can able to have some discussion for another 5-10 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much,
And
sir. Actually, I will open for a few minutes for the question and answer. If anybody wish to ask, I request Vishwas Kale sir to start with, because he had question post on the chat box.
You can read that question.
read वो चार्ट में देखता हूँ सर, चार्ट में क्या है?
Yeah.
There are 2-3 points, you can club them together.
Yeah.
In fact, Kali had asked about the steel industry. That is why I made sure that Subramanyam spent some more time on the energy efficiency in the steel industry.
Yes.
Somebody asking,
and he answered his questions also.
Yeah, do you give presentations to unclaimed carbon credit footprint? Yes, we are doing already industry. We have done plenty, and future now going to be mandatory even for the education institutions. Education institutions, they have to get NAC certification, NAC A++. For that also carbon footprint, one of the they have to do the environment audit, they have to do the energy audit, and also they have to do water audit. So the carbon footprint part of it. So that we can able to do it because we have credentials. We have credential. And also can show the savings also. Can show the savings before, after. Next is, sir, another one is, if industry is still very much ignorant or missing that this cost saving possibility, etc., would be glad to know this. Yeah, because nowadays targeters, as we can say, people are overachieving. When they give target, Pat 1 cycle, target was 6.6 megawatt, 6.6 million tons of oil equivalent. People have achieved 8.3. So overachieved. That's why this market has crashed. So the market rate was even, though it is 18,000 rupees per ton of metric oil maintain, it has even traded 100 rupees. So now that one don't want to happen. Now they made it a minimum 10%. That means minimum cost of one e-certificate is 1840 rupees. 1840 rupees is the minimum cost. So next is energy saving system and their payback period. This is a crucial part from environmental issue. Money matters in such investment. Yes, sir. Because I have showed many times we have seen we can able to reduce one example, of course, only LED or whatever it is already implemented. Now, wherever you go, You can go to any railway station. They have 100% LED. You go to then BLDC fans. So BLDC fans 100%. Any railway station. Similarly, you said tell them that star rated AC. They already gone for a five-star rated inverter ACs. So the people are investing. So people are doing it already, and it is very economical also. Economical also to go for it. And in fact, we are giving one demo project. We are doing one of the tech, pharma company, pharma tech cluster. One pharma cluster we are doing demo. We are ourselves investing. Ourselves investing, showing saving before after, and investment is also ours. So that is deadline is March 12th. So already we have identified the technologies and we have started implementing. By March 12th, maybe knowing because hardly another not even 2 months. So 2 months we will be implementing 2 technologies in chillers and also air compressor we are implementing, and we will be doing the actual savings before after.
You have missed my question about carbon footprints. I want you
Yes,
to,
tell me, sir.
in a very simple language, you have to explain to the industry what benefit they can get by these carbon footprints. So if you are doing that, we'll be happy to get you invited.
Yes, sir. Carbon footprint is because now one is target is there. That is imposed by the government. Whether you like it or you have to do it. By reducing carbon footprint, because how would you be able to reduce it? Again, you have to reduce your consumption. So consumption kahan hota hai? Either you have to reduce your electricity consumption, or if you are using a boiler, thermal, electrical, ये दो चीजें और कोई कहीं नहीं कर सकता है.
Sorry,
So,
1 minute. Sorry for interrupting you. That I am aware of. What I'm saying for industries, I want you to have some presentations so that they can understand this very easily and implement it. That is my question.
Yes, sir. People are already doing it because I have done in Pune itself. Pune itself, HPCL, they have a Loni terminal. Loni terminal, oil आता है from Mumbai, and from Loni terminal again they distribute. So they want to get it done carbon footprint. We are done for carbon footprint for Loni terminal. We have done it for another pharma company. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm referring to certain types of industries which I mentioned in my chat box. We can discuss it later, no problem. I'm referring to certain kind of industries where I want your help.
I will share his number.
Subramanyam, I think the question will be answered if you talk about SEAM and let the people over here register for some of the courses industry-wise to understand the concerns of that particular industry and domain. This gentleman's question will get answered if he understands what all are you doing under SEAM as well, because equivalent chapter of SEAM should be there in the West, in Pune, which allows them to link up and get their industries mapped completely for the carbon neutrality as well as the net zero projects. As there's a lot of learning that has been done as electrical engineers as well as industry managers, and there are no shortcuts to this. It's easy to throw a number of what we call as jargon like net zero and carbon neutrality and all those things, but the reality is the basics that he's talking about. Every unit that you save is the equivalent of almost 20 units that you have to generate using the current systems that are there. So as long as we start doing that and also looking at the ways in which we actually improve the efficiencies of generating and looking at non-conventional energy sources, we are in the right direction. So Subramanyam, you can tell them a little bit more about your other initiatives as well as SEAM, where they can register and then start moving ahead.
Thank you for this information.
Sir, the carbon footprint, because I said there is as a protocol, that is scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 kar sakta hai, that is as a protocol. We have to follow for protocol. So then again, what is the benefit for the industry? Suppose if you can able to convert into CDM. Because in future, again, there is a market is growing. Earlier, CDM as rate was down, so people are not going. Now the targets are there. You can able to sell it. That is additional revenues in the international market. So India, we have only patch system is there, only applicable to only some few industries. Only designated consumers, it is applicable. Whereas internationally, whatever you have done some energy efficiency project, it can be converted to the CDM. There earlier period, either it is a solar power plant, or we have done implemented some variable speed drive, or we have changed some technology, all can be converted into a CDM, can convert into carbon footprinting. So I don't know. I have put it yesterday only. I have two inquiries from pharma companies. So they said they want to have a carbon footprint done. I don't know what is the driving them. Whether there is a from their ministry or something, they got the directions. So they asked us, okay, you give me the proposal for carbon footprinting. So from one of the so then they ask me like ISO 9000, ISO 14,000. So is there any, they can able to get a certificate also. So certificate also may be future possible. So there is a, like if you go to Hyderabad airport, they have taken carbon net zero airport. If you go to Singapore airport also they have written carbon net zero. So already they have done it. Either in Singapore airport, even in the Bangkok airport. So Bangkok airport also they written big in. So there is one under compulsion they are doing something, and they are as a their own initiative. People are doing it. So there is always possibility is there when you convert. One is their visibility. They want to show them. Like already showed like Infosys. They said already they are carbon neutral. By doing so, still they are getting some benefit. They can able to get as per the social responsibility, corporate social responsibility and all, okay. In addition to that, they can get some benefit. Addition to that, they can go to revenues also. They can claim under carbon credits, and they can able to, because when colleges they can get a NAC certification. For that, but they have to spend for it. We people are there want to get only do the, because I am only consultant. I can able to show them this is the your carbon footprint, how we can able to reduce it. That also I can able to give them the solution. And certification, because again certification, as on today we are not certified. Maybe some companies, maybe DNV, TUV, SGS, they may be companies, they have they can able to certify.
So do you
Thank you,
have
Dr.
data
Subramanyam.
how much they have earned from the carbon credits, this IT company, once they got carbon neutral?
Yes, suppose for that we have to go to, there is a UNFCCC. UNFCCC, there is all the data is available. How many carbon credits they have got it. But I cannot able to tell them rate. So rate is like our Bombay Stock Exchange, har din change hota rehta hai. So we can able to get the numbers.
Okay.
Earlier people got, like I'll give you example like Gujarat fluorocarbons. Gujarat fluorocarbons they claimed 35 lakh carbon credits per year. I'm not talking one entire, per year 35 lakh. So 35 lakh का उसका rate ले लीजिए. Even at present market also $1 or $2. So 35 lakh into so many, if you're able to get it. But the only thing is that has crashed over a period, because there is a internationally though there is a targets, there are more sellers than buyers. इसका वजह से they market has because particularly China. So China, there if you see their, I given one example of 35 lakhs. There, whereas in China, most of their projects are very big, and their even for plantations. We are going for only 1,000 acre plantation, 2,000 acre plantation. There are million acres of plantation. All big projects. So that's why it is a CDM. It is a China development mechanism. It has become China development mechanism, and it has crashed.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Subramanyam.
sir, there is one more
what,
question from
what
my
is being
side.
asked? Can I ask a question, please?
We're all sorry to
What is
interrupt
being
all
asked
of you.
is there reliable data reference available globally for you to actually share
Dear all,
there, or you don't have that data? If consolidated, the CDPP consolidated data are available for people to refer and get the information industry-wise. There is a lot of data. This entire story has started way back in 2008. And there are specific questions you're being asked, whether you have the data with you right now. I don't think you have the data with you right now because you're not come for that particular discussion. If you have it, share that data. Otherwise, send the people across to that area where they can get the data.
dear all participants, sorry to interrupt you. We are already 13-14 minutes delay from our scheduled time. Usually we respect all of us, each one's important time, schedules and requirements. So if there is any questions, last question we will take, or we will conclude the meeting.
Sir, I have put one question. CH4 GHG potency is counted as 84 times if we take the CH4 life as 10 years, but if we take it as 100 years, the potency is counted as 25 times. Subramanyam sir, can you explain the reason?
Sir, thank you for your
Sir,
question.
actually,
Subramanyam sir, let me interrupt for a second. Thank you for your last questions. I request sir to share your phone number on this chat box, so all other remaining questions can be interacted directly with you. And this is a wonderful session because people are excited to ask. I feel that importance to you. So once again, thanks for everyone. And Subramanyam sir, you can now explain the answer of his questions, and then we will conclude the meeting. Thank you, sir. Please continue.
So I have given my mobile number. It is also WhatsApp number also. So you can able to any specific because some specific because these are CH4. CH4 84 times nice, sir. CH4 is a methane. Methane का only 21 times. So whatever.
वो तब है नहीं, वो तब है जब उसको 100 ईयर लेते हैं, पर जब 10 ईयर लेते हैं ना तो 84 टाइम्स काउंट करते हैं। वो मैं उसका लाइफ साइकिल का वो डिस्क्रिपेंसी का पूछ रहा था रीजन।
वो मुझे मालूम नहीं सर।
ओके
Actually,
ठीक है
how
ठीक है,
you can suppose
कोई बात नहीं।
suppose you are converted so into CH4. CH4 by CH4 is CH4 plus O2. उसका CO2
नहीं
बनेगा
सर, मैं
और वाटर वेपर।
बाद में
So
बात
दो
करूंगा।
CO2 बन रहा है। वो CO2 बन रहा है, उससे टू मल्टीप्लाई बाय 21 टाइम्स बिकॉज ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पोटेंशियल 21 टाइम्स, सो इक्विवेलेंट CO2 बनेगा।
बात कर रहे हैं। Have a separate session on that.